50 after the hour, time for the Tropical Update. We've got a couple of storms on the agenda this hour. We've been talking a lot about our Typhoon Megi, but we've also got one closer to home, Tropical Storm Richard in the Caribbean. Vivian, bring us up to date.
Yeah, that is the one we're watching. We have the latest 5 o'clock advisory from the National Hurricane Center on Richard. And again, as we look across the broad waters of the Atlantic Basin, you can see we've been watching this little disturbance coming off of the West African coast. Not really too concerned with it right now anyway. It's a long ways away, so we have a lot of time to watch it. It's this one here closer to us that we are mostly concerned with over the west to central Caribbean. Again, this is Tropical Storm Richard. It was upgraded from a depression earlier this afternoon, and as we get a little bit closer, you can see some of those high clouds already coming into the island of Jamaica, but rightfully so. We've had some locally heavy rain, mainly on the western side of the island, and flooding could be a concern. We can show you the local radar out of the area. Again, with maximum sustained winds now of 40 miles an hour, and we have the very, very latest, of course, on Richard. Again, Jamaica, you are getting the heavy rain right now. If you have friends, family here, then know that flooding could be a concern over the western part of the island anyway. But the good news about Richard is that it is moving away from the lower 48 or away from Jamaica, so improving conditions are expected. But unfortunately, it's headed toward the southern Gulf of Mexico. You can see now, as of the 5 o'clock advisory, it's still just pushing a little bit to the south and the east, but eventually we're expecting it to turn to the north and west, and that, of course, will bring it closer to the Yucatan Peninsula. We do have advisories out for the Yucatan here for increased winds and tropical storm force conditions. So definitely watching the Yucatan very closely, and of course the southern Gulf of Mexico will be kind of wide open, if you will, for this system, as it is expected to even become a hurricane within the next 48 hours. You could see Saturday morning, 75-mile-an-hour winds. That would make it a hurricane. So we'll keep you updated, of course, on Richard. Again, here is Richard in respect to the rest of the Atlantic Basin. Nothing's going on in the eastern or the central Pacific, but in the western Pacific, that's where we have Typhoon Megi with 110-mile-an-hour winds just off the coast of mainland China. We'll keep you updated on this system as well. Nick?